We're just about set for kickoff here at the Sportsplex at Matthews. The lineups are as follows for Stumptown. Kevin Gonzalez in goal. Nicholas Amposa and Frankie Martinez are the center backs. Reese Williams and Deshaun Nemhard are the fullbacks. Giovanni Bejarano Navia, Colin Stripling, Luis Garcia Sosa, Travis Ward, and Jared Odenbeck, the midfielders. And up front, Isma Longo leading the line for the Stumps today. Meanwhile, for Cal United, Bear Barrera in goal, making his 4th consecutive start. Michael Bryant, Garrick Hogbing, and Xavier Fuerte are the center backs. The wing backs, Brady Trainin and Brian De La Fuente, Duncan Capriotti, Christian Tirion, and Felipe Liborio Jr. make up the midfield 3. And then the front 2, the aforementioned Omar Nuno and Minjae Kwok lead the 11 for the visitors tonight. Here we have Stumptown ready to kick off, blah, blah, we'll go into it. I'll send it to Robert's Rules, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. So we're going to go with Kwok up top and Liborio in the center?
Yeah, I'm thinking that because Kwok's listed as more of an out-and-out forward, but we'll see.
I think so.
Can you hear that crowd mic?
I
a little bit, yeah.
Can you hear it now?
No.
No.
You can hear it now?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very bassy.
Yes.
That is crazy how basic it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like it.
I'm going to start dancing in the middle.
So, the only problem with you being in here, the only problem with you being here, I can't talk to you.
Aww.
You can't talk back. Our channels are only one. It's like we have 2 sets up. I don't know. If you start peaking, are you running a compressor though? Yeah. This is all on limiters. And what I'm sending you is true like unity.
True unity. That sounds cool.
And because these guys are hitting about like negative, like 6-ish, -6, -7. Yeah. So, question: did they discuss music licensing or anything like that? No idea. Okay, this guy might know. He's like,
Man, now somebody gives me one thing to do, and now all of a sudden I'm the guy who knows things. Gosh.
you know
Sam-
what? You got baller headsets.
Sam's been here longer than I have. I'm just kidding.
All right, so
Robert knows what he's doing.
So
Okay,
the reason
sure,
why I'm
yeah, we'll
asking
go
is 'cause, like, so right now they're playing, but like in my mind, are you gonna put these on for a second? So like you can hear like do you mind just stopping?
Check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2, check.
But then when the game kicks on, when the music's off, then I just pop.
Yeah, I probably should do that
Oh yeah, here.
at some point. Do I have to?
Yeah. So I think we're fine.
Hold on to me. I'm gonna ask a question.
I will ask you. Are you saying it to both of these? What do you mean? That camera and that camera? Yeah. No, just that one. All right, I gotta put a mic on that one. Give me the cable or no? I do. You want to drop it over there for me? You just want to set. Just so before I have it on ISO, I'm gonna hit record it. Yeah, 10 minutes.
Do, 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 do. Why do I have these 3 dots? Feels like it's thinking too hard. Do 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 do.
Robert, do I not follow you on Instagram?
I don't know.
I should follow you.
It should.
Hold on, let me follow you real quick. I'm realizing I'm like, I work with him and the only thing I follow him on is Twitter.
Dude.
Are you the same as your Twitter feed?
I think so.
Oh, I can't spell. I'm sorry.
Spelling is hard. It's cool. Oh, there I am.
Perfect. Here we go. Follow request. That's you, right?
Yep. What are you?
Sam_gold1. It should pop up in your. Oh yeah. Here, I'll show you real quick. Right here.
Gold. 1.
Yeah.
There he is.
Appreciate it.
A little afraid here. Now we're gonna go to the side here.
Cool.
Let's see what it's doing.
All right, so Odenbeck, I might spotlight. He actually played with Stumptown Athletic back in 2019 and 2020. In hindsight, it has to be like a minor miracle that NISA made it through. Like, because it just started. The first season of play was 2019, right? Do you guys have a way I can get the footage from these matches?
I do know they record them. I just don't know where they send them.
Is there any chance after the match I could just ask somebody about it? Because I'm trying to make a reel with like all of my best bits.
Robert, does Robert have the return?
It says it's on. It says it's live. Yeah. I mean, I hit the going live button.
Robert, you got so much power.
All right, Robert, do you want me to have the logo up and not the field? Okay.
Probably.
Yes, sir. Okay, we'll talk. Sam was asking if he could get the recording of the game. Sure. With their voiceover instead. With that credential, why not, man?
I appreciate it.
I actually don't know. I have no idea. You got like a business card?
I can. Yeah, I can.
Email address your university gave you?
Yeah. So it's I can give you my Davidson email if you want. Yeah.
It's cool. Well, let me ask Glenn. He's the boss.
Yeah.
He'll interface with the NISA dudes.
Yeah.
To be able to give you whether that's a yay or an nay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, because I'm just trying to make a reel with like all my best bits. So because I'm a senior in college and I kind of made the decision.
You've had your intern before.
Yeah, I've made the
now.
I made the decision where I'm just trying to like I might want to do it like long term. So like the best bits so I can just send to like different people.
Sure. Are we? Yes. Yeah, so it's ISO'd and then the stream is recorded. That goes to them. And then we have it in the cameras as no shit. Yeah, but they still want it. You want me to record files? Yeah, if you get each person, in case Sam here loses his shit. And then we need to cut.
I'll try my best.
I think that would be something that we won't have to worry about.
Yeah,
but
I'll try my best. I'm usually good at. We're not watching a Chelsea match, so I think I'll be all right.
Sam, keep your language to PG-13, please.
PG.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's really
Don't-
G.
G. Oh, SA.
Holy smokes.
Oh yeah. That works.
Reese Williams. Midfielder number 42, Jared Odenbeck. Midfielder number 14, Colin Strickland. Defender number 13, Nicholas Amposa. Defender number 12, Deshaun Nimble. Stumptown's head coach is Rod Underwood. He is assisted by Drew Yates, Chris Nugent, Tucker Walker, and Dominic Chavez. Ladies and gentlemen, the referees for this evening's match are Andrew Mushashi, Ed Waddell, Colin Ashley, and Matthew Otten. Prior to the playing of tonight's national anthem, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats as we observe a moment of silence to remember the 13 brave servicemen and women who tragically lost their lives to service our country overseas.
From the Sportsplex at Matthews in Matthews, North Carolina, it's the National Independent Soccer Association on 11 Sports. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Robert Morrison, I'm Sam Goldfarb. Excited to bring you the action here in match week 4 between Stumptown AC and Cal United Strikers FC. And Stumptown returns home after picking up their first point of the season at Michigan Stars FC last weekend, but they still failed to find the back of the net. They drew 0-0, and they're riding a 251-minute goalless drought. And despite the fact that they hit the bar in the 81st minute of that match, could not break through. So, Robert, how can Stumptown flip the script tonight and unlock Cal United's defense?
Yeah, I think the good news is the team that they are going up against tonight is a team that has shown a propensity to let in goals. You talked about Michigan Stars, who Stumptown played last week. The visitors tonight let in 3 goals, including 2 inside the first 20 minutes against that same Michigan Stars team in their opener of the season. And it took a comeback in that match for them to get the victory. So this is a team that's vulnerable for goal scoring, and the Stumptown's going to have to take advantage of that tonight.
Meanwhile, Cal United, they're 5th in NISA with 5 points. They boast a dynamic attack, and it's led by the top scorer in the league, Omar Nuno. He has 4 goals on the year already. He had a hat trick in that aforementioned 4-3 victory over Michigan Stars FC in the season opener. He also scored last weekend the opener against LA Force in that 1-1 draw. So, Robert, how do you expect Stumptown to approach this challenging matchup with NISA's premier goal scorer to this point?
Yeah, I think the big thing is for the center backs for Stumptown tonight to not let Nuno forget that they're there. Really make it a physical match as much as the referees will allow it. Make Nuno work for it. He is a poacher of the highest order, and I mean that as a true compliment. As a goal scorer, a lot of his opportunities so far this season have been right up in front of goal within the 6-yard box, and so they're just going to have to keep him out of there as much as they can. The good news is he's been their main and really only goal-scoring threat so far this season. So if they can hold Nuno, I think that will be good news for them.
This is a Stumptown defense that has only conceded 1 goal in its last 2 matches. We're just about set for kickoff. The lineups are as follows. Kevin Gonzalez in goal for Stumptown, Nicholas Amposa and Frankie Martinez, the center backs, Deshaun Nemhard and Reese Williams, the fullbacks. In midfield, Giovanni Bejarano Navia, Colin Stripling, Luis Garcia Sosa, Travis Ward, and Jared Odenbeck making his first career start for the Stumps. And up top, Isma Longo. Stumptown looks set to get this one underway, and they do. Meanwhile, for Cal United, the 11 is Bear Barrera in goal, Michael Bryant, Garrett Hogman, and Xavier Fuerte, the center backs. Brian De La Fuente and Brady Trainin are the wingbacks. In midfield, Duncan Capriotti, Christian Tieryoung, and Felipe Liborio Jr. And then up top, the aforementioned Omar Nuno and Minjae Kwok. We're underway here at the Sportsplex at Matthews here in Matthews, North Carolina. We will see who will win this battle of defense and attack tonight. And on that note, Robert, it's time to debut our new segment, Robert's Rules, our keys to the match. What do you have for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Three things for Stumptown as far as that's concerned. First, they're going to have to... Oh,
excuse me. Tyrion on the edge of the area, drilled across for Nuno and rolls out of play for a goal kick. My fault, Robert.
No problem. Yeah, first time we get started on this, and it's not quite what we want it to be. Yeah, so the first thing is for Stumptown, they're going to need to find the goals somewhere. There seems to be a disconnect between the way that they want to play with crosses into the box and that sort of thing, and it doesn't really connect with their ability to get the ball into the strikers because they just don't have a front man in that way that doesn't kind of match up. The second is locate Omar Nuno. As we've already talked about, he's their big goal scorer. Figure out a way to stop him. And the other thing is, the last one is keep the ball. If Cal United don't have the ball, they can't score.
Ward slithering down the left flank. And we'll play back to Nemhard, who's operating at left back. You still have Amposa and Martinez as the center backs. Looks like Reese Williams is on the right. So we talked about that partnership, Robert, of Ward and Williams in the first half, especially a couple weeks ago. That gets broken up tonight in favor of Nemhard on that left flank.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You wonder if it's a balanced situation, trying to create opportunities for both sides of the field to get some service.
Looking long for Nuno that time, Gonzalez claims without too much trouble. This is a Stumptown defense that has only conceded 4 goals all year, and 3 of them actually came in the season opener at Chattanooga FC. We were here for the 1-0 defeat to Chicago House on the 14th, and of course, last weekend, 3:30 p.m. game, drew Michigan Stars FC 0-0. Stumptown sitting 9th in the NISA table. That ball poked loose temporarily, and now swung wide for Trainin. Interesting setup for Cal United, Robert. It looks like a 4 at the back.
Yeah, it's unusual. You would think, given the defensive deficiencies that they've had so far this year, they'd want to have more defenders out there in the center of the park, but doesn't seem to be the plan so far.
Looks like De La Fuente operating as a holding mid. Nuno drilling it forward for Tyrion in space. He gave Stumptown problems last time they faced, and he gives them problems here. Christian Tyrion, the one-on-one slotted home past Gonzalez, and within 3 minutes, it's a 1-0 lead for the visitors.
Yikes. That's about as bad as it could be to start off for Stumptown. It's definitely not the kind of thing you want to see, especially because it's a giveaway in the middle of the park, and then just kind of let the Tyrion kind of slip away from them, and he made him pay for sure.
And a very difficult start to this one for Stumptown. Get caught out on the opposite wing. Brilliant ball for Nuno, who picks up what should be his first assist of the year. And the big man involved in the goals, this time as the facilitator. Garcia Sosa looking for a swift response. And this is not the position you want to be in if you're Stumptown, Robert, trailing 1-0 when you haven't scored in over 250 minutes.
That is an understatement there, Sam. The name of the game here for Stumptown tonight was going to be to control the ball and try to take advantage of opportunities when they come. Now they have to play from behind for as long as until they can figure out a way to score themselves, and that's just not playing into where they've played so far this year.
Definitely not tactically what they would have shot for at the beginning of the evening. Wouldn't have been what they drew up in the dressing room, but they'll be hoping to level things here from the corner. Currently, Garcia Sosa standing over it. It'll be interesting to see what Stumptown does with its front line on set pieces and just in open play in general. It's taken short here to Longo. And Ward plays back to Garcia Sosa. Back post cross floats into Bear Barrera's gloves without too much trouble.
Yeah, one thing you notice immediately is Stumptown's lack of height here in that situation. It's definitely not what you want in those particular situations, for sure.
And, of course, the storyline that we're constantly going to touch on all year, Robert, is the fact that Stumptown did let 3 big forwards walk. Now, none of them scored goals. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. But does that affect how set pieces are set up?
I mean, absolutely. You just don't have the height to get over and make contact on crosses. And that seems to be the way they want to play, is with the crosses, but they don't have the people to get behind it.
Nuno comes deep to claim, trips over his own feet, and tries to maneuver out of danger. It's going to be a throw for the visitors. And when Omar Nuno came here back in June, it was a 1-1 draw. Stumptown actually fell behind and leveled from the penalty spot. Giovanni, not Bejarano Navi, Ramos Godoy, the forward, then equalized from the spot. But it'll be very interesting to see how they counter here. Tyryong actually did not score in that matchup, but had like 3 breakaways that were saved. Of course, this breakaway he converts. Nuno was quiet. It was very weird. Omar Nuno, since the beginning of fall, has been virtually unstoppable. Now 4 goals and 1 assist on the year. And, of course, we talk about the hat trick. We talk about how phenomenally he's done finishing-wise. But again, Robert, now making his shift through the assists as well.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you finally get the main goal scorer rather to get under control, and he makes you pay for it anyway.
Kwok puts on the afterburners and has white shirts in retreat. Now Tyryong, the goal scorer, launches another one and just can't quite keep that one down, but another threatening break from Cal United.
Yeah, they're definitely pressing into this Stumptown defense, and it's creating a lot of problems for the Stumps so far. Who definitely don't look comfortable being behind this early.
Stumptown shifted to 2 up top last week. It looks like they're doing the same thing here. Longo alongside Ward. It was Chunga in that other spot last game. So we'll see how that affects proceedings here. Maybe they're trying to provide a little more support for Longo up there. Now Nemhard drilling it short for Garcia Sosa, the lone goal scorer for Stumptown all year. Navigating the pressure from Capriotti. And Williams to Bejarano Navia and Colin Stripling, more of a defensive midfielder, looking to slide it through for Longo, but a solid interception that time from Fuerte. And it looks like Liborio will launch things the other way. Felipe Liborio, a former 1904 FC player. He's actually listed in defense, played a lot of winger for 1904 last year. And transferring to Cal United, the team that finished 4th in NISA here this offseason. Bejarano Navia breaks up the play and finds Longo on the wing. Has a few white shirts ahead in support and finds Ward. Now Capriotti cleans that mess up. And De La Fuente. Cal United looking very composed here, Robert.
Yeah, it's all about control for them. When they have been in control as a team, they've played a lot better, which goes without saying, I think, to a certain extent. When you're comfortable, things are going to go better for you, and it looks like that's the position they're in so far.
Ward intercepts that one, played back to Odenbeck, but it looks like there's a foul against him, and Stumptown's one of their primary attackers picking up a yellow card here early.
That's not what you want. Your attackers picking up yellow cards is not ideal, especially this early in the match.
And Capriotti will stand over the free kick. It looks like Fuerte's a bit slow to get up. The man captaining the visitors tonight. Stumptown, a notable omission the last couple weeks from the 11 has been Alex McGrath. He made the bench tonight, was not actually on the bench last week. He's only played 90 minutes all year. It was against Chicago House. He had his ups and downs in that match. But, Robert, what do you make of him not being a regular in the side like he was last year?
You got me, Sam. I don't know what's going on. You mentioned he wasn't superb in that match at all. It's definitely a little it's curious as to what's going on with him in terms of his ability at this particular point. And it definitely makes you wonder what's going on if there's a knock or something. He's definitely the Alex McGrath from the spring season is definitely something this team is missing for sure, though.
Yeah, they've been searching for that final piece in attack, and we talk about how Ward, McGrath, and Garcia Sosa were the 3 that brought the goals for Stumptown last year. and the lack of one of them has really impacted the other two, it seems.
Yeah, they're not as direct and able to get as much forward, Ward and Garcia Sosa, so far this season, because McGrath is not clicking on all cylinders when he's been out there, and has been missing a lot of time as well.
Speaking of a player just returning from missing time, actually, Frankie Martinez, his second straight match in the 11. Missed the first 2 matches of this fall campaign, but the former MLS Super Draft pick is back in the lineup. Stumptown with a quick break here. Garcia Sosa, low driver, and it's a good diving stop by Barrera. So Stumptown keeping the visitors honest at least, and perhaps putting them on their heels for a moment.
Yeah, that's better from Stumptown. That's what you like to see, but still need to get a better shot off there. I think if you're Garcia Sosa, make the goalkeeper work a little bit harder.
And we'll see if Stumptown can exert enough pressure to crack that back line that has struggled. Robert alluded to it in the open. 5 goals conceded already this year. They shifted to a back 5 last game to address those concerns. Now back into that back 4. They've got a setup with 1 defensive mid. So there is room to operate for these Stumptown creative players.
Yeah, but again, it comes down to where they're going to put the ball and who's going to be responsible for scoring the goals. Because if you can be as creative as you want to, but if no one's willing to step up and find a way to get the ball in the net, then it's really for naught.
Odenbeck battling with Capriotti. The ball played back to Hogbin. And Robert, in pregame, was admiring his build. Garrett Hogbin, an absolute unit, 6'2", 190, the 23-year-old from Chico State.
Yeah, he's a big fella. He's definitely going to give Ward and Longo and whoever else steps up in that particular position a little bit of trouble, I would imagine.
Young played over to De La Fuente, looking through for Nuno, a solid interception, and Stripling comes away with it for the time being. Stumptown just looking a bit uncertain, building from the back. This has been a trend in the past. Teams will press you early, and they'll break you down, get early interceptions. Obviously, the goal came from a delayed press around midfield, so we'll see if that fades throughout the match. Obviously, when you're exerting that much energy, it should be a concern, as Liborio will play this one back to the 17-year-old Brady Trainin. And now, De La Fuente. Perhaps more advanced than many would have expected coming into the match tonight. And Robert, it's an aggressive look from Cal United. The fullbacks push very far up.
Yeah, it looks like they're only really keeping the 2 center backs on the past the halfway line. Definitely trying to score some more goals and put even more pressure on Stumptown, which is something that the Stumps are going to have to deal with so they don't get too far out of this game too quickly.
That was the first goal Stumptown had conceded in over a match of play. Last season, we talked about the big stat. They didn't allow a single goal from open play. That's since changed. But the defense overall, at least coming into tonight, was pretty solid. So to get that goal early if you're Cal United has to be massive for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you're on the front foot. You get to control the game from here on out and, make the team that has struggled to score goals try to open themselves up, which can put themselves in a bad position. I mean, the good news is that it was so early that Stumptown doesn't have to be super expansive throughout the whole of the match, but they are going to have to go for it at some point to make sure they don't fall too far behind here.
Stumptown with a bit of an extended period of possession around the midway line, something we haven't seen too much tonight. Played back to Amposa, who started every match at center back for the Stumps. A lot of shuffling around the back line. Obviously, Reese Williams, we talked about him playing on the left and the right. In fullback, Martinez was out of the equation the first couple matches, so Nemhard and Amposa were playing together at a new center back combo, and now you have that combo of Amposa and Martinez, and you push Nemhard out wide. So there's a lot of moving variables for Stumptown that you figure will be addressed throughout this long 18-match season here in the fall.
Yeah, eventually you got to find what that grouping is, what that pairing is, and figure it out and kind of try to get it as set as possible. Uh-oh. Okay. Good.
Nuno plays that ball across the back line, and Tyrion was through once again, but the flag up on the near side.
Yeah, that looked a little dangerous for a second. Anyway, yeah, so you do have to get that solidified as best you can because the communication in the back line is super important to set up a situation like that where you have an offsides call because of the way that the back line's set up. I think that's really important.
Williams here on the right side. Back to Garcia Sosa. Ball loose for the time being. Recycled by Ward. The Stumps slowly building their way into this one. They've had possession here on the edge of the area a few times, but the big theme that we've talked about, and Stumptown fans across the country, North Carolina, Matthews, wherever you are going to focus on is what they do inside that box, where they find the openings, and teams have been able to pack it in against the Stumps for most of the year. How can they counter that? And that is what we're going to be talking about all year, Robert.
Yeah, until they figure out a solution, then we're going to just have to keep talking about it. At least that's not our job to figure it out. That's Rod Underwood's job to figure the solution out. But it's definitely a struggle, that's for sure.
We will see how Stumptown adapts. Bryant will claim this one at right back. You've got Hogbin and Fuerte as the center backs. Bryant is the right back in training. The 17-year-old who was receiving the ball on the left flank is the left back. Then Capriotti is operating as more of a holding mid. Liborio and De La Fuente are more free roamers. And then you've got a front three of Kwok, Tyryoung, and Nuno, who have already caused problems for the Stumps in the first 20 minutes, the goal coming in the third. Now Bryant claiming this one in space. Good switch of the play. Early cross. Can't quite find Nuno, but he will recycle. Michael Bryant already an assist to his name this year. Picked up one in last week's match against LA Force. It was a brilliant ball for Nuno, who provided the opener in the 55th minute. A few moments later, though, within 15 more minutes, there was an equalizer, and holding on to leads is the big dilemma that Cal United's faced. So Robert does bring up a very solid point in the fact that Stumptown has a defense they can exploit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, a matter of creation of the chances. And if they can do that, then Stumptown can find a way. This is a team that will allow them to do that, I think.
So a free kick coming for the Stumps. Nemhard to take. You still got that defensive back, the defensive midfield two of Bejarano Navia and Stripling. They've been partnered all year. And they have been a bright spot, I'd say, for the Stumps thus far. As that ball played to Nemhard on the overlap. Can't quite thread it past Capriotti, and Nuno claims on the near side. Now Stripling, one of those two defensive midfielders, sprayed out wide to Williams with his pace.
Yeah, what you're saying about Bejarano Navia and Stripling, they've been a good pairing. Stripling especially has been impressive when he's gotten a chance to get opportunities, but definitely more defensive-minded. For sure.
Garcia Sosa on the edge of the area to Longo. Stumptown just trying to find a way to unlock this sea of black shirts around the penalty area.
And this is where the ideas have got to come. Somebody needs to come up with something.
Odenbeck, a quick 1-2, has the ball in space. Drilled back for Garcia Sosa, and that's the equalizer.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We needed some ideas, and that was definitely it.
Brilliant play by Odenbeck on the right. The link with the 1-2 and the unselfish cutback to Garcia Sosa for his second goal of the year.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. You definitely gotta like to see that from Stumptown. Finally taking advantage of the opportunities. They made a nice run into the box. The passes were crisp. The ideas were good, and then a really nice shot from Garcia Sosa, his second on the year.
Garcia Sosa, one of the primary creators last season, a big reason why Stumptown had such a successful inaugural campaign, striking once again. He had 2 goals and 2 assists last year. He's matched his goal tally in 4 matches this season. And the Stumps are level, and the narrative has changed drastically.
Absolutely. Now the control kind of swings back into the middle. Someone's going to have to wrestle control of the game, and this really is a good opportunity for somebody to do that, for one of the teams to step up. Stumptown can kind of go back to their main game plan of trying to control the ball if they can get it. Really good response from Stumptown.
Nuno tries to find De La Fuente and does off the deflection. Cal United coming back the other way. Suddenly we have a very lively opening 20 minutes. A goal either way. Stumptown breaking its goal duck, which ends around 270 minutes of play.
Yikes.
But they won't be complaining. They're level.
Yeah, absolutely. We're back to the start, as they say.
Liborio looking into the middle for Nuno. It's overhit and cleared by Amposa only as far as De La Fuente. The follow-up cross looking for the star forward, and Longo will look to carry it out of danger. The assist, by the way, provided by former Stumptown Athletic player back in 2019 and 2020, Jared Odenbeck, the Wake Forest grad, 6'2", 176 defensive midfielder, opens his point account for the Stumps tonight.
Yeah, what a set of ideas there from Odenbeck to begin the run, to make the first pass, and then to continue his run into the box. Good extra pass there. I think it was by Travis Ward who made the through ball into the box, and then to kick it back for Garcia Sosa was just a brilliant piece of play from Stumptown.
So Cal United pegged back perhaps somewhat unexpectedly. We'll see what they can conjure here in the final portion of this first half. We're about midway through the first. And this ball played out wide to Trainin. And now Fuerte. Over to De La Fuente now. And a quick attack coming the other way. The ball for Nuno deflected and floats over to Kevin Gonzalez without too much concern.
I should say, just thinking about what we were talking about at the opener, Nuno has been pretty quiet so far. So they've done a good job there. And the goal was on a little bit of a moment of kind of losing their senses in the back for a moment, but they did a good job of recovering and coming back into this match for sure.
And we'll see how they spend the next portion of this half competing against a Cal United team that has a pedigree for success. They finished 4th in NISA last year with 13 points. Actually drew 1-1 with this Stumptown team after taking the lead in the first half. This ball spread over to De La Fuente and rattled out of play for what looks to be a corner. But they finished 4th, and they got back on track after a rockier spring of 2020. In the fall, they actually made the knockout stages of the NISA playoffs, and in 2019 won the Western Conference. Ball floated to the back stick, and it looks like Amposa was upended, so free kick coming for the Stumps.
You got real high up in the air there, Sam. and then upended from there. That's impressive.
I wouldn't want to be the man up in the air there.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
But a Cal United team, one of the founding members of NISA. They were founded in May of 2017. They didn't play their first league match until June of 2019. So it's a legacy club for NISA, one of the founding members, one of the first teams to really compete for the NISA title. They lost to LA Force after in extra time, went to penalties, and they fell. And now looking to compete once again, entering tonight 5th, trying to avoid their 3rd consecutive game with drop points as Min-Jae Kwok turns on the Jets. And now on the edge of the penalty area, a good diving stop by Gonzalez, and it looks like the follow-up effort from Nuno was offside.
Kwok's got some speed there, and he has already demonstrated the ability to finish on goals like that. He scored the winner in the opener on a very similar kind of situation from outside the 18, and that's a danger. You have to watch out for him. He's a quick hitter, and all of a sudden he's going to just be on you, so you have to be aware of that for sure.
And this is Kwok's first start for Cal United strikers this fall. He's appeared in the previous 2, played 23 minutes in each, obviously scored the winner, which you alluded to in the opener. He actually is a very interesting backstory. He spent the first decade of his life in Suwon, South Korea, then moved to Fiji for 8 months, then moved permanently to the United States. He actually played in the Strikers Academy, signed his first pro contract in Croatia, and now last August re-signing with his boyhood club. Bryant laying it off for Liborio, and a free kick on the way for the visitors. Linking quickly, knocked out of play for yet another Cal United throw. And Robert, now that Cal United's been hit with some adversity, perhaps maybe they weren't expecting it, what do they have to do to swing the match back in their favor?
Well, I think the quick hits are a big thing on their part. I mean, they have shown a good ability to come back. They've obviously had to do a lot of that in that opening match, falling behind by 2 goals against Michigan, and they've done a good job for the most part of to be able to do that, to go up against adversity. But it's definitely not a place you want to put yourself in if you can. But we do know they have the offensive skill set to do so if they want to.
Long ball intercepted by Hogbin. And now Bryant on the near side over to Liborio, operating as more of a winger for the time being. And now Trainin down the line for Tyr-Young, the opening goal scorer in the 3rd minute. Linking quickly with the 17-year-old left back. And intercepted by Stripling. Stumptown looking to build from the back. It's where they're at their best, when they can establish momentum going forward, get those quick links on the edge of the area, and see what commences from there. But a lot of teams have done very well to interrupt that build-up, to really break it up, force Stumptown to execute in quick turn situations, and to Odenbeck's credit, did so very well on the equalizer.
Yeah, they haven't always dealt with the pressing very effectively. I think they've done a better job of that tonight. To their credit, I think, as you noted, Stumptown's done a good job with that for sure.
We will see how they navigate the remaining 63 minutes. Obviously, plenty of time for this match to change. Tyr-Young scoring in the 3rd, and then the equalizer from Garcia Sosa about 15 minutes later has us sat at 1-1 as we enter the 28th. Amposa over to Odenbeck, assisted the opener. And for a second, looked like he wanted to drill another ball into the box. Now Garcia Sosa, the goal scorer. The Stumps brimming with a bit more confidence at the moment. Odenbeck in on the play once again. Can't quite link with Williams that time, but recycled by Amposa. And now Nemhard here on the near side.
Yeah, I like what you're saying about their confidence. It does seem to be that the goal has gotten them more into this game 100%.
And this is more where Stumptown is at their best, Robert, when they can build up really quickly, find those passing triangles, and it's something that unfortunately we haven't seen as much from them this year.
That was an impressive tackle there from Travis Ward.
Ward linking quickly with Longo. Ball popped free. Fuerte will head it out of trouble, and it looks like there might have been a foul committed against him anyways on the edge of the area.
Offsides, it looks like on Longo. When the ball popped up in the air, it looks like he was on the wrong side of the defense.
You are correct. The flag up on the far side. Good eye, Robert. So 1-1 here on 11 Sports. Sam Goldfarb, Robert Morrison, thrilled to bring you the action here in match week 4. Stumptown and Cal United level for the time being. The opener scored by Tyr-Young. 15 minutes later, Garcia Sosa on the equalizer, and 2 of the star men for either side have gotten involved on the action. Hogbin looking long for Tyr-Young, has Gonzalez on the move, and Tyr-Young, the early snapshot effort will just roll back to Stumptown's keeper.
That's a good run by Tyr-Young, but nobody to support him, so he just had to kind of flick the ball at the goal and nothing there.
And he's been giving Stumptown a lot of problems off ball. Obviously, the equalizer scored when he ran into space on the near side, the good switch of play, and that time just very savvy without it.
Yeah, again, causing more problems than Omar Nuno so far tonight, which doesn't mean that their leading goal scorer will not cause problems before the time is done, but so far it's been Tyr-Young more than Nuno for sure.
Now Liborio. Cal United building quite aggressively on that left flank, and then they like to switch the play. Liborio, the former 1904 player. But, Robert, What do you think that does to Stumptown when everything is stretched left and then they quickly hit them right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot of energy to move across the width of the pitch like that. I think Stumptown's by and large doing a good job of following the ball, but you got to follow the ball like that for 90 minutes. It's going to take a lot out of you, and got to be something that Cal United is going to try to do.
Bryant hunting Tyryoung with the long ball, a good interception there by Nemhard, tracking over to his right. Now receiving the ball here on the left flank. Looking for Isma Longo, making his second start of the year. Did start the opener. At times struggled a bit up top, but has gotten involved far more tonight. Now Garcia Sosa. Stumps carving out more territory in the Cal United half, and Nemhard strolls forward. Looks like a miscommunication with Longo, and Barrera has no trouble there.
A real good idea there, but Longo wasn't quite sure what Nemhard was going to do. I don't know how in the world he got so far forward. Like, Cal United looked like they had no interest in stopping Nemhard from doing what he wanted to do. If that had worked, that would have been some brilliant news there for Stumptown. But it looked like he could have kept going all the way to the goal.
Absolutely did, and we'll see how the forward runs of the likes of Odenbeck and Nemhard affect the rest of this match. Obviously, Odenbeck's forward run in the 19th minute really orchestrated the equalizer. Hogbin looking to build from the back, and Liborio maneuvers onto it. Now Michael Bryant. Cal United back line that, as we mentioned, coming into tonight had allowed 5 goals, now 6 to their name in just 3.5 matches of play. Trainin drills the cross low, finds its way to Nuno after the deflection. And now the follow-up effort from Bryant. Nuno has space to maneuver. Low cross. Knocked away by Martinez calmly, and adding a degree of composure to the heart of that defense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see Frankie Martinez back out there. It looks like he is definitely running the show for the back line for the Stumps.
And Martinez, captain of the club, started every single match last spring for Stumptown, but missed the opening 2 here in the fall. Martinez is very versatile. He's played left wing back, center back, left back, right back. Anything you can name along the back line, he's probably played it, because they've shifted formation numerous times in his tenure here.
I was going to say, has he played striker or maybe central attacking midfielder or something like that?
I think those are the only 2 he might lack at this point. But, of course, played for LA Force in the shortened 2020 season, and he was drafted 69th overall by Sporting Kansas City in the 2019 MLS Super Draft. Had 40 career appearances in college with UMass Lowell. Out of the America East. Now Stripling. Incorporating numerous Stumptown midfielders here. Ward coming a bit deeper to claim. And Garcia Sosa.
Looks like that's Stripling all the way out there on the right-hand side and along with Williams. Interesting.
It is. And he claims this one on the edge of the area. Bejarano Navia will recycle. That's one of his strong points. Bejarano Navia is very physical, but he offers you a little bit getting forward, and he's so phenomenal at recycling possession and winning back early tackles. Now Williams linking quickly on the far side. Tries to drill it back into the middle, and it's knocked out of play for what will be a corner kick here in the 35th minute, the second of the evening for Stumptown.
Yeah, the little 1-2 moves close to the box for Stumptown working pretty well. You got to think that Cal United is going to want to come up with a solution for that, but so far that was how they got the goal, was off of one of those, and now a corner kick on a dangerous movement into the box again.
Garcia Sosa and Longo camping around the corner, numerous white shirts in the penalty area, and it's taken short. Now Williams. We've seen him hit crosses from here before. Tries once again. A lot of pace on it, and it's headed into the back of the net by Colin Stripling.
Wow. Talk about something out of what looked like nothing for a second there. You kind of wonder what that movement was going to go, but that was clearly a right out of the training grounds kind of movement there. Reese Williams with just an absolute rocket of a cross, and Colin Stripling with a great move there. Impressive play across the board for Stumptown, who have somehow, after not scoring for 250 some odd minutes, managed to pull out 2 inside of the first half.
Stumptown has completely flipped the match on its head. This is the second most goals they've scored at the Stumplex all time. The first tally, they beat 1904 FC 3-1, had 3 goals in the first half. And Reese Williams, at the end of the Michigan Stars game, played in a similar cross from a similar spot to the back post. Odenbeck headed it onto the crossbar. That time, played into the middle of the area, and a phenomenal header from Stumptown's newest defensive midfield signing.
Yeah, Stripling really does a good job of freeing himself up and making and giving himself the opportunity to get a shot on goal, and does a great job.
De La Fuente with a laser low misses at the wide right post. Cal United trying to catch the Stumps off guard.
Yeah, they say the most dangerous time for the defense is right after you've scored, and no truer than right there in that moment for Stumptown. Could have been a bad way to respond from their perspective.
That was just Colin Stripling's second shot of the season, Robert. Only had 1 in 247 previous minutes.
That's a good percentage, I guess.
And, of course, Stripling has plenty of pedigree at the USL level, played for the Greenville Triumph and FC Tucson in League One, and he was a dominant force in midfield for Monmouth from 2013 through 17. He was 2-time All-MAC second team, Mid-American Athletic Conference.
Say that again for me.
And he was also 2015 first team and 2013 All-Rookie in his career at Monmouth, 15 goals and 9 assists. And a fantastic headed finish there to completely turn this one around at the Stumplex. And you had to figure those 2 goals were a bit overdue.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We've talked long about how they're going to score goals, and lo and behold, here we are. 2 inside of the first, 35 minutes.
Bryant providing a bit of trickery along the right-hand side. It's going to go out for a Cal United throw. Still time to level this up before the break. Nuno along the touchline, and it's cleared only as far as Trainin. Now lost out. Longo drills a perfectly weighted pass to Williams, who had the assist on the second goal for the Stumps.
Reese Williams truly a two-way player at the fullback position for Stumptown. He's been very impressive so far today.
And Odenbeck just mistimes the ball to Ward.
We could hear the screams of agony there from Odenbeck. He was disappointed that he couldn't make that pass.
And in a season that's been a bit rocky to start for Stumptown, Reese Williams has been one of the major attacking bright spots. We talked about how he linked very well with Ward in the Chicago House match, obviously provides the assist there, which gives Stumptown the lead. What have you seen from Reese Williams that has really helped Stumptown at least provide some threat attacking-wise throughout the year, and now, of course, here providing goals?
Well, I mean, I think that proves exactly what his worth is 100%. It's that ability to make goals from free kicks and from opportunities that you don't definitely necessarily see them coming. That right foot is got some magic in it for sure.
And some magic in it on that cross there was. Stripling with a bit of savvy to win a foul inside his own penalty area.
He's getting himself into a little bit of trouble. The foul previously just sort of midfield. He kind of kicked the ball around a little bit, got a little talking to from the referee, and now Nuno's not going to like that response there. But, you know, this is the way of it. You know, little words that we can't say on television to describe what that is.
Watched his Lee Cattermole film before coming into tonight. Flick on header for Longo, tries the audacious effort. The sting taken out of it by Hogbin. And a bit of a scuffle. Hogbin will claim and win a foul. If y'all don't know who Lee Cattermole is, just look up Sunderland highlights from like the mid-2000s. Bryant here at right back.
So we've talked about the 4-2 free formation that Stumptown likes to run out. It looks like a little bit of that going on with Cal United. You got to wonder if that has if there's some connection to the opposition for sure. A lot of midfield switching and all that kind of stuff on the part of Cal United tonight as well.
Yeah, the only stationary aspects you really see are Nuno up top, and he's been even maneuvering across the front line. Foul here in the center of the park.
Like a yellow card there.
Looks like Stripling actually came off a little worse for wear. And a yellow is assessed to Brian De La Fuente for Cal United. First caution given to the visitors tonight on 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah, definitely got his foot up pretty high there.
So Stumptown's latest goal scorer getting shaken up a little bit, but he's up to his feet and looks all right to continue. The 26-year-old from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, in his 4th straight start to open the year, has had a pretty eventful evening thus far.
Yeah, scoring goals, getting, a boot near his face, messing about a little bit. He's got it all going on.
Gonzalez looking to switch the play for Ward. Under hit a bit, and Bryant will claim. We'll see what happens here in the final 5 of this half. Stumptown is keeping Cal United honest. They haven't been able to throw as many numbers forward as perhaps they would have liked, being down 2-1 here on the edge of the half.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, everything has been switched for sure in this match. Now Cal United in a situation where they don't want to fall too far behind and put themselves in a situation where they can give up another goal and find themselves down 3-1 heading into the half.
De La Fuente intercepts. Now Kwok played on to Tieryoung, who scored the opener. Christian Tieryoung, shot deflected. We should have a corner coming, and we do. Cal United here on the stroke of halftime in the 43rd minute with a major shot at an equalizer from a set piece.
That's a good effort there. Was that Martinez who chased the ball down? Otherwise, Tieryoung would have had a free shot at goal again, which obviously you don't want to give him based on what we've had so far.
Tieryoung, 1 goal and 2 assists already this season. The best playmaker on this Cal United side. Cross coming in from what looks to be Trainin. Cleared only as far as Capriotti. And now back to Trainin. Hogbin, early cross over the head of Amposa, but can't quite find anyone at the back stick. And another corner on the way.
Whew, that looked dangerous. If Amposa had missed that completely and there had been somebody behind him, that would have been bad news for Stumptown, but luckily nobody there.
Liborio and De La Fuente standing at the far side corner for this one. Stumptown defensively against set pieces last year struggled. This cross to the near post. Stripling gets ahead on it before it finds its way to Nuno. And now De La Fuente recycles.
Looks like Stumptown's just going to have to survive these last couple of minutes here before halftime. Cal United really coming at them. Garcia Sosa with a nice little professional take of the foul in order to slow the play down. Smart move there.
Heavy touch from Liborio, and Stumptown takes advantage. 44th minute, still leading 2-1, completely flipping the match on its head in the span of 16 minutes. Christian Tieryoung provided the opener on a one-on-one with Gonzalez. Brilliant finish in hindsight. Then, about 16 minutes later, Luis Garcia Sosa, after brilliant link-up play from Jared Odenbeck, finishes it off. Then in the 35th minute, Colin Stripling, off a laser cross from Maurice Williams, turns the match on its head, and Stumptown leads as we approach the break. We'll see how much Cal United devotes heading forward here in the final few minutes of normal time here in the first. Looking for Nuno now on the left. 2-footed challenge. The ball pokes free, but Nemhard recovers well. And now Ward along the left-hand side. Has De La Fuente in retreat. And Longo. Perhaps Stumptown could grab one right before the break. And Martinez. Stumptown beginning to build some chemistry, both going forward and in defense, it seems. Stripling over to Bejarano Navia. And just 1 minute of added time here in the first as we reach the 45-minute mark.
That's very interesting considering there were 3 goals. I would have thought a little bit more, but there you go.
And a few fouls as well, Robert.
Yeah.
Ward looking to tack on another. Quick cut inside, long ranger, and just misses the near post.
Looks like it got a deflection here. Yep.
And there is a corner. Good eye, Robert. So it looks like a defender may have gotten in the way as it approached goal, but a laser snapshot from Travis Ward. And a player who's had his ups and downs here in the fall season, slowly building his way into this match.
Yeah, it hasn't been quite the offensive force that he was during the spring season, but it's good to see him. He's definitely another kind of two-way player that Stumptown has at their disposal. Good defender and good on the offensive end as well.
Cross coming from Longo to the near post. A pile up in the penalty area, and it's going to be a foul against the Stumps. And that's going to do it for the first half. Stumptown leading 2-1 over Cal United Strikers FC at the break. Tier Young providing the opener, but then Garcia Sosa and Colin Stripling turned the match around for the home side. And Robert, before we head to the break, what were your key observations from that first half?
I mean, it's just incredible. It's like they were listening to us, listening to Robert's rules. You know, they found a way to find the goal, which we talked about how they needed to do. They found a way to control Nuno, which we talked about they needed to do. The one thing that they really haven't done is control possession, but that's really okay in that regard because they're up 2-1, and that's really the thing that matters.
And that's going to do it for our presentation here of the first half. We'll be back a few moments before the second to provide more breakdown and analysis. But Stumptown AC in control here at the break, 2-1. Stick with us here on 11 Sports Network.
soccer gear from Soccer Shop, located in Pineville across from Carolina Place Mall. If you can't get to the store, be sure to visit us at playwatchwear.com and have your gear shipped right to your front door. Soccer Shop. Play, watch, wear, everything soccer. Stumptown AC would like to say thank you to Brown Bag Catering for their help at tonight's match. Brown Bag is committed to delivering simple but delicious healthy foods and seeking to build relationships in the community and provide excellent customer service. Go to brownbag.com to order. Matthews Mint Hill Weekly is proud to partner with Stumptown AC. Pick one up every week to read about the latest news affecting your community. Find daily updates about Matthews, Mint Hill, and the surrounding area at www.thecharlotteweekly.com. Follow Matthews Mint Hill Weekly on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram too. Stumptown AC is pleased to partner this season with a Major League Soccer and international legend, Marco Echeverri, as he comes to the Charlotte area to bring your soccer playing future stars the finest in soccer training at Marco Echeverri Soccer Academy. Marco will bring his experience and training methods from North and South America, along with many internationally qualified coaches to prepare your young players for the competitive level of soccer ahead. Register with Marco Echeverri Soccer Academy for the best training around at marcoantonioecheverri.com. Stumptown AC is proud to partner with Ortho Carolina for all of their medical needs this season. At Ortho Carolina, personalized orthopedic care begins with a click of a mouse. With online scheduling, save time by booking by provider or office location, whatever makes sense for you. With more than 40 convenient locations, there's an Ortho Carolina office nearby. At Ortho Carolina, it's my care, my way. Schedule your appointment online today at orthocarolina.com. Fans, please welcome back to the field for the second half to Cal United Strikers FC and your Stumptown AC. NISA is proud to have all 2021 fall season matches broadcast on both 11 Sports and the BN Sports Network.
And you want the field?
Please visit nisasoccer.com for the full broadcast schedule. proud to support TreeCharlotte.org in helping planting new trees all over the Matthews area in recognition of great team accomplishments and milestones.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the National Independent Soccer Association on 11 Sports. Sam Goldfarb, Robert Morrison alongside me here at halftime, right before the second half. Stumptown AC leading Cal United Strikers FC 2-1, and it was a doozy of a first half. Christian Tieryoung for the visitors scored the opener in the 3rd minute, then 16 minutes later, after brilliant link-up play by Jared Odenbeck, Luis Garcia Sosa bagged the equalizer, and then in the 35th, Colin Stripling scored his first goal for Stumptown AC. It was a phenomenal header off a laser cross from Maurice Williams. And the Stumps lead as we enter the second 45 minutes. Stumptown chasing their first 3 points of the season. So, Robert, I want to ask you, what was the key to the turnaround for Stumptown thus far?
Well, I think, Sam, they haven't had a problem necessarily creating chances with goals so far this season. It's been all about putting those chances in the back of the net, and for this first half, they finally did. They finally took advantage of those chances. They had 2 good ones, and they stuck them both in the back of the net, and they're up 2-1, and that's just really the big difference here.
4 changes for Cal United Strikers and 1 for Stumptown on the way. We haven't gotten an announcement of said changes just yet, but Alex McGrath enters for Stumptown. I'm assuming that would probably be for Garcia Sosa, Ward, or Odenbeck. Meanwhile, Tony Lopez, Alex Vedamincam, Guilherme Farias, and Alejandro Araneda will all enter the fray for Cal United. So wholesale changes for the visitors, Robert.
Looks like Longo actually has come off for Stumptown.
So Longo exits, so 4-2 Freedom at its finest now with McGrath, Ward, Garcia Sosa, and Odenbeck all on the pitch. Nuno is still out there for Cal United, so they're going full attack mode. You got Araneda in midfield, who's scored 2 goals last season. Then you got Lopez, who's a forward midfielder, Farias, who's an attacking-minded midfielder, and Vedamincam, who's an out-and-out striker. So Cal United fully chasing this. Stumptown with 1 point on the year. They have not picked up 3 in a single match since the second to last match of the Spring 21 campaign. So a full swap for the visitors as they chase this one, Robert. And looking down the line, the ball is loose, and a chipped effort from Nuno floats behind the Stumptown goal. A bit of nerves, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, this is clearly a go-for-it moment from Cal United. Try to get those players in there and make it happen.
So if you're looking at the lineup at the moment, you've got Nuno and Farias up top. Then Vedamincam in behind them. Tieryoung actually looks like he's made way. And Araneda, it appears he's replaced Capriotti. So we'll see all of the changes now. The board was not put up. The changes were, I believe, announced, but not all of them. They just announced the guys coming in. So we will get official word when NISA updates its website, and we have that all squared away. Ball to Trainin, the left back. And a diving stop from Williams going to stick with the strikers. So Alejandro Araneda, he's 18 years old. Featured quite frequently last year for the Strikers. This season, he's made 2 appearances off the bench. Played 54 minutes, actually picked up a yellow card in 9 minutes of action against Detroit City 2 weeks ago. Has not featured since. Drills this one long. It's intercepted by Bryant. The back line still features Hogbin and Fuerte. Looks like the fullbacks are different, though. Trainin still stays there. Bryant along the back as well. So a goal kick for Stumptown. Very attack-minded lineup. The front 3 is Nuno, Vedamincam, and Farias. Meanwhile, in midfield, De La Fuente still stays with Lopez and Araneda. And then the back line looks relatively the same as well. Big move here. Vedamincam looking for Nuno at the near post and a diving stop by Gonzalez. Recycled by De La Fuente, and it's going to be out for a Cal United corner. And Robert, early threat from the visitors.
Yeah, it's the best opportunity Nuno's had all night, for sure. Good save there by Kevin Gonzalez, though. He's been good at the back of the defense for Stumptown throughout the season. That's one of his better actions today.
Trainin, looping cross to the back post. It's loose. Lopez trying the bicycle kick. And in the process, looked like he kicked Bejarano Navia. So the changes have been officially updated. Your call on long go out for McGrath is correct, Robert. For Cal United, Farias enters for Tyryong, Lopez enters for Liborio, Vedamincam enters for Kwak, and Araneda enters for Capriotti. So 4 changes for the visitors and 1 for Stumptown. We will see how things change here in the final 45 of play. Stumptown has Ward up top. It's a 3-back attacking midfield set of Jared Odenbeck, Luis Garcia Sosa, and Alex McGrath. Then Stripling and Bejarano Navia are the holding mids. It is the same back line as we saw in the first. Williams trying to control here on the near side. Farias loses out, and now McGrath surging down the right-hand side. And Vedamincam. He's made 2 appearances prior to this and started both, including last weekend's match against LA Force. And now Araneda. Intercepted by Bejarano Navia, cleared only as far as Trainin. And it's a happy balance, Robert, when we look at this. You make 4 changes. They're very attack-minded. But in the process, does it disrupt the chemistry you've built on the field, or does that not matter as much given how much Cal United struggled in the second part of that first half?
I mean, I think it's probably a little bit of both. You would hope that all the players in your squad have the opportunity to kind of get to know each other, but the fact of the matter is those who are normally in the starting 11 are going to find themselves with more chemistry with those others who are in the starting 11. So making that many changes can certainly impact that, but at the same time, you find yourself down 2-1 at halftime, you want to make sure that you go for it.
The NISA sub-limit is 5. It's about the most changes I've seen at once, especially at halftime, in a game we've called together. At least, Robert.
For sure.
And they're looking long for Nuno, who had a quiet half. Maybe they believe providing more support for him with the likes of Vedamincam and Lopez will do him good. But Tyryong, the goal scorer, exits. And now Araneda. Just 18 years of age, playing a crucial role for Cal United. Slithering now is Nuno. Bryant loses out to Nemhard on the far side. And it's going to go for a Stumptown throw. 51 minutes gone. Stumptown leading Cal United 2-1. But a big effort earlier for Omar Nuno almost leveled things up.
Yeah, the pace of this game has really picked up in the first, 5-6 minutes of this half so far. It's just flying on both sides.
And you figure with the amount of attacking personnel in the lineup, it's going to leave both defenses exposed a little bit. More so for Cal United than Stumptown, at least.
Yeah, for sure. That was the interesting part about the move to bring Alex McGrath in at halftime. You kind of wonder. He's definitely more of an offensive-minded player. So you got to guess that maybe Rod Underwood and his staff are not feeling comfortable with the 2-1 lead.
Ball for Farias rolls out of play. Coming off the bench today at halftime. He played the full 90 minutes last week. And he is more of an attack-minded player. It's his first pro team, and he excelled at Mount San Antonio College 2 years ago. He had 5 goals and 5 assists as a freshman with the Mounties in 2019. Now trying for a regular professional role here at Cal United. Vedamincam drilled back to Bryant. And Fuerte looking to switch the play quickly. Trainin had a pretty lively first half along the left-hand side. That cross drilled in for Vetamincam will float over the post without trouble to Gonzalez. And Kevin Gonzalez, we sung his praises last year, and he's had a bit of a more difficult go of it. Not many of the goals you can really argue are his fault, though. What have you seen from him tonight, Robert?
He's just controlling the back line really effectively. I think having somebody like Frankie Martinez back is probably helping his place in the spot a little bit, allowing Gonzalez to have control of the game as much as possible.
Gonzalez conceded just 4 goals last year. One of the better goalkeepers in NISA. And now Williams. Quick flick over Trainin's head, and it looked like Ward was offside on the near flank. Free kick coming from Fuerte and looking long for Nuno. Flick on for Farias. Remains in play. Cal United in business once again down this left-hand side. Farias against Williams. And now Araneda. Comfortably navigates his way through traffic. The cross low, cleared by Martinez, only as far as the crosser Araneda. And Araneda, 6'3", 165 pounds.
I was going to say he is a very tall fellow, but very thin. Definitely looks like a guy who could create some trouble in the air.
And Araneda was a regular feature for the Strikers last year. He had 2 goals as a center midfielder last season, 1 in the Legends Cup finale and 1 in the NISA Spring Opener. And he's also played matches in Spain, France, China, and Croatia during his youth career. So the 18-year-old's well-traveled, to say the least.
Yeah, significantly more traveled than I was at 18, or even at this point in my life.
I'm with you on that one.
Not 18, decidedly.
Williams on the throw for Stumptown. They alleviate a bit of pressure for the time being. And now Trainin. Bejarano Navia intercepts the ball, popped free, and he controls it well. And now Garcia Sosa outside of the booth to Alex McGrath, who makes his first appearance since the 90 minutes against Chicago House 2 weeks ago at the Stumplex. And we sung Alex McGrath's praises as well last year. 5'9", 155 pounds. And he had 3 goals last year, led the Stumps in that category, was a critical piece in build-up often for them last season, and it's good to see him getting extended run time once again.
He hasn't really found a way to get into the flow yet. Again, whether it's injuries or something else, he's definitely not been as key a part of this team so far in this fall season.
And you wonder how also, with the match looming on Wednesday night, how that factors into Coach Underwood's plans as McGrath has that one poked free and a corner comes for Stumptown. Of course, Stumptown returning home on Wednesday to play Michigan Stars, the team they just played last weekend. They'll be hoping for more goals in that one. If tonight's any indication, should be optimistic.
You can hope so. You got to hope that this is the start of a goal-scoring run rather than just a one-off kind of opportunity.
McGrath receives it short. And now to Williams, similar training ground routine to the one we saw on the second goal. This cross looping to the back post. And will be knocked out of play for a goal kick. So not quite as much success on that one.
I was going to say just a little bit less successful the second time around there for Reese Williams.
And I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that time couldn't quite find the same result.
Yeah, got to get a slightly better effort there from Reese. But good thought to see if it could work again.
Ball drilled to Trainin in space. A very good recovery by Williams, who's all over the pitch tonight. And now claims it on the right-hand side. McGrath coming deep. Tried to find Ward, who let it roll for Williams. And he puts on the Jets, taps it past Trainin. Short for Ward, Travis Ward. Couldn't quite get under it enough, and Barrera ultimately doesn't have as much trouble with it as many would think.
Well, I thought that play was over as soon as Travis Ward had to back up because he was offside, but Reese Williams came just tearing down this right-hand side and managed to catch up to the ball and create something out of basically nothing there. As you noted, Reese Williams all over the place, possibly the best player on the pitch so far for Stumptown.
And possibly the best player on the pitch for Stumptown all year. You could definitely make the case.
I think that's a fair point, true.
The Columbia graduate working wonders here down south for Stumptown. And he was a member of the Real Salt Lake first team way back, so some MLS pedigree to his name as well. Vedamin Cam's pass intercepted by Ward. Can't quite slide it through for Garcia Sosa. And McGrath turning on the press a little more. It's controlled well by Trainin. De La Fuente. Spraying it wide for Hogbin. And now switching the play quickly are Cal United. Cut back for De La Fuente. He's bundled over on the edge of the area. Referee quickly wags his finger, no dice. And it was half-hearted appeals that were snuffed out quickly. Now Lopez on the near side. Jinks past McGrath, now taking on Williams. And cleared only as far as Farias. Once again, Cal United loading up this time on the far side. Farias. Seeing a bit of a burst of pace here in the second, cuts into the penalty area. Farias! Curling effort and a good stop by Gonzalez. And negotiated out of trouble by Bejarano Navia. And Robert, Cal United starting to ramp it up once again.
Yeah, and this is the thing you got to be worried about if you are Stumptown. This sort of onslaught of shots that Cal United's going to try to work with from here on out.
Farias looking to create another shot on goal for the men in black. And De La Fuente. Nuno's still been quiet. We'll see if Cal United can get him involved here. Vedaminkem. Back to Trainin once again. And Cal United settling on it. They look very patient to their credit. You'd think teams would get antsy now, moving the ball around and not being able to pick the home side apart just yet. Now Vedaminkem. Over to Trainin. And it will be knocked out of play by Williams. A throw on the way for Cal United once again. And you're seeing Tony Lopez springing to life a bit for Cal United. He scored 2 goals as a regular up front for the Strikers last year, making his 3rd appearance of the season. Low driver from Bryant. Missing off target. So 15 minutes into the second, Robert, what are the adjustments you've seen from Cal United, and what do they need to do to unlock this Stumptown backline that's remained firm?
Well, they're pouring it on, that's for sure. As we talked about, they brought in all these attacking players to force pressure on Stumptown, and so far, Stumptown has done a good job of holding their positions as best they could. This is a little... well, this is bad news if Aponsa is going to have to come out, because that means that's going to be another shift in that back line, which, as we've talked about, has been troubling with all the shifts that they've had to do in the back end so far this season. So you got to hope that he's going to be okay for obviously personal reasons, but also for the Stumps back line as well.
Nicholas Imposa, the 24-year-old from Fomena, Ghana. He's played all 270 minutes entering tonight and played all 62 and change this evening. We hope he's all right. Currently down and being helped up by the physios. And Robert brings up a good point. This is a Stumptown team that last year built from the back. They established that chemistry defensively and then became more expansive as the season progressed. Finished 3rd in NISA. It was a very good debut campaign built on their back line. And this season it just hasn't been as consistent.
Yeah, and again, not having Frankie Martinez out there for the first couple of matches has got to impact that. They were probably counting on having him as the sort of solid starting point for their back line. And so you got to hope that this is going to be maybe a cramping situation with all the heat and something like that. It looks like that's kind of the situation that's happening at the moment.
Yeah, it looked like they were stretching him out. No changes immediately from the touchline. So as of now, Stumptown going to have to operate with 10 men. They move Nemhard inside. So reuniting that old, well, not reuniting that old partnership, excuse me, one of his former partners on the sideline, but you'll see Nemhard operating likely next to Martinez for at least the next few moments. And the captain organizing things for the Stumps as they look to take this gold kick and buy Amposa some time. Looking for McGrath. Header finds its way to Ward. And now the Sperrymore England native over to Travis Ward. And gets past Trainin. And retained by the Stumps. Stripling back to Bejarano Navia, and Stumptown starting to stroke it a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a good example of that partnership that McGrath and Ward had built up last season. So you like to see that coming into play again. Hopefully they can continue to work on that in the coming days.
Aggressive press coming from Cal United. Nervy days for Amposa, who re-enters the fray.
Yeah, welcome back to the game there, buddy, and now deal with this.
And an absolute diving header from Williams. Excuse me, Stripling, as Williams is bundled over in the center of the park.
Stripling doing a lot of work with his head tonight, for sure. That was a good effort. He's been all over the place. I think you could make a case that he has been one of the top performers for Stumptown tonight.
Stripling, the big energy guy, of course, scoring the second for the Stumps on a brilliant header. Williams playing in the ball. And also winding up the opposition a little bit as well. Long free kick intended for McGrath. Kept in play by the App State grad. Ball loose, edge of the area. Vetaminkem knocks it out of trouble calmly. Intercepted by Nemhard, but now Lopez surging the other way. Cal United with numbers on the far side. And Nuno. Martinez sending it the opposite direction. Ward knocks it out of play. And the throw will buy the Stumps some time, and it will head the Stumps' way.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Sam, it's been a really quiet second half from Odenbeck. We haven't really heard anything from him. It could be, McGrath being in the game has sort of neutralized him a little bit and not asked as much of him, but he was a major part of the Stumps going forward offensively in the first half. And, of course, as I say that, he gets the ball and makes a move, but there you go.
Odenbeck has been great for 1-2s and orchestrated the equalizer tonight, his 1-2, and then the cutback for Garcia Sosa leveled things up in the 19th. Amposa looks to switch the play, instead given to Bejarano Navia, and Stumptown, you figure, will be content to kind of move it around and only speed things up when they see a blatant opening. Williams tries to create one himself. Garcia Sosa looking for the return ball, cleared only as far as Martinez.
This is a little bit of a switch up from the way that we've seen through much of the second half so far. Stumptown controlling a little bit of the ball in a way that we have not seen from them thus far in the second half.
And you figure part of that's to waste clock, part of that's to keep Cal United honest. They don't want to let them devote too many resources forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, at this point, given the propensity that Cal United have for scoring goals, you got to think that getting a third one has got to be on the mind of Stumptown to try to create that deficit that they won't be able to come back from.
We'll see if Garcia Sosa and Ward can engineer that. Now back to Nemhard, who's put in quite the shift at left back tonight, perhaps not his natural position. And linking quickly with Odenbeck, searches for Garcia Sosa and knocked out for a Stumptown corner.
That's an impressive cross from a guy who's not a natural fullback. Pretty good flick in there to get Garcia Sosa in to have a possible shot. Now they get a corner out of it.
And Coach Rod Underwood emphasizes versatility for this Stumptown side. Obviously, the 4-2 freedom talking point is something we hit on often, but also even across the back line. You saw Martinez play wingback and center back last year, and Nemhard has done that this year. So a lot of adjustments being made, and Stumptown players need to be comfortable with that. Cross coming in for what looks to be McGrath, back post. It's going to be knocked away by Hogbin. No extra trouble just yet for the Stumps.
It looks like Williams and Stripling got in each other's way on that one. Not really quite on the same page. Now Stripling on the floor.
And we hope he's all right. Stripling, as Robert so calmly mentioned earlier, he's probably been one of the better performers tonight for the Stumps, so he'll get back to his feet, and the Stumps will hope he can continue.
Just a little coming together between teammates. Nothing like a little unity there, I guess.
And he is back to his feet, so Stumptown will be able to resume play. Now Stripling on the edge of the area, navigating through that tight squeeze well. And Garcia Sosa, goal scorer of the equalizer for Williams on the overlap. Cleared but recycled by Stripling. And now a foul against the defensive midfielder. Cal United going to be able to relieve a bit of trouble.
I wonder if he got him on a handball there. That ball looked like it bounced on him funny, but it was kind of difficult to tell from this angle.
Regardless, Cal United will look to build that established wave of pressure that they did earlier.
Yeah, for sure. Again, the defensive effort that Stumptown has put in, especially in this second half, with the sort of just massive numbers of offensive players, attacking players that Cal United has put out there. It's been pretty impressive from the home side tonight.
Williams searching for Ward. He might have been a toe or two offside. It's cleared for a Stumptown throw. And Cal United under coach Don Ebert might be a bit frustrated with the way things have gone this evening. They grab the opener and then just can't quite grab the second. They get caught out twice, and now they're in a situation where Stumptown, one of the teams with better defensive pedigree in the league, can sit back a little more.
Yeah, again, this is the ideal situation, really, for any team. But Stumptown is especially comfortable when they're in a position where they can sort of control the game from a defensive point of view, which seems like a very strange thing to say. But if they're able to get into their defensive shape, hold their line, and allow the other team to kind of dance around and do whatever they want, like they're doing right at this moment, but to be able to hold them in that position, I think, is very important. It's about the defensive play.
Arneta tripped himself up on that one, and Ward pokes it free. Now Williams gets the beating of Vedamincam and cuts inside. His outside of the boot pass to Odenbeck, intercepted but cleared only as far as Nemhard. Now surging the other way is Tony Lopez. Cut out well by the fullback. Back and forth we go. McGrath with a beautiful dummy. And now has it in space on the near side. Support coming from Stripling. Now Odenbeck. Garcia Sosa. Shot stood up by Fuerte, but recycled by Odenbeck. And a savvy move by Garcia Sosa. Free kick coming for the Stumps in a somewhat dangerous spot.
Yeah, good build-up play there from Stumptown. McGrath starting it off with the dummy, as you noted, to kind of get his defender knocked off. And then he was able to play it back into the center of the park. Starting to see them move into the center a little bit more and noticing that that's probably where their strengths are, as opposed to getting it on the outside and trying to whip in crosses, where they just don't have the height or anybody with any of the aerial presence to make a lot of a difference there. So we'll see if this cross is any difference.
Stumptown snagged their opening goal from the central area with Odenbeck creating it. Free kick cross to the back post. As you noted, Robert, a bit more difficult for the Stumps to create from that area.
Well, that one would have been impossible for a 7-foot human being to get on. There was a little bit too much air on that ball.
McGrath challenging for it, and Stripling pokes it free only temporarily, though. Lopez will wait for support, and now Trainin. He's had his bright spots in support attacking-wise, but defensively has had a rough go of it with Williams and McGrath surging the other way this half. And Vitamin Chem loses out to Bejarano Navia. Ward looks to carry it free. It's going to be out for a throw, the visitors to take. And a bit of a mix-up on the far side.
A little bit of a shove there, too. See what the referee's going to do.
Travis Ward getting into it with the likes of Araneda and Bryant. No cards on either side. Nuno looks to rush forward now. And Stumptown can't quite play out of their own half there. Farias sticks with it and battling with McGrath. Now Vitamin-Chem. The former New Mexico product knocked over on the near side, just on the edge of the area. No call by the official. The ball popped free the other direction, and Travis Ward strolls onto it, and he runs into the back of Fuerte. The referee blows up for the foul.
It looked okay. I didn't see a whole lot to that foul, but, you know, I can understand it to a certain extent, but felt like they were kind of both tussling for the ball.
One referee's whistle away from a break on goal. It was a 50-50 challenge, and it goes against the Stumps. And despite the first 15 minutes going against Stumptown, it's really hard to argue that the most recent 15, they haven't held their own in.
Yeah, they've been toe-to-toe with Cal United in the last 15 minutes or so. The game has also slowed down a little bit, which I think is definitely to the benefit of Stumptown to take advantage of opportunities like this in the breakaway.
And Stripling has it on the breakaway. Sifts past one defender in Fuerte and still with it. And finally loses out just inside the penalty area. A good challenge from Hogbin.
That's a good individual effort. You got to think Stripling probably needs to get rid of that ball to Ward a little bit faster.
And now surging the other way, Sweeper Gonzalez comes out and heads that one out of trouble.
Ah, the sweeper keeper. Got to love it.
And he was out halfway to midfield.
Yeah, he saw trouble, and probably that was true.
Fetterman did have plenty of space.
Oh, yeah. If he had gotten the ball, that would have been in a lot of danger.
Trainin looking to create a bit more for Cal United. Now Williams surging the other direction. And a foul. Looked like it might have rolled out just for a throw, actually.
Yeah.
So 15 minutes remain. Stumptown still holding on to a 2-1 lead. A lot of extended pressure from Cal United to open the second, but they haven't quite been able to replicate it as we head to the final moments of this one. Odenbeck battling with Trainin, who's played all 75 tonight. And now De La Fuente. 4 substitutes at halftime for Cal United. And waiting for the payoff still. Bryant, early cross looking for Nuno. Might have been offside, but recycled by De La Fuente. Stumptown, great team defending, especially when they absorb pressure, at least thus far. Now Bryant, poked through Tony Lopez, and floats into Gonzalez's gloves without too much threat.
You're looking at the defense for Stumptown. They got a lot of guys behind the ball here on that buildup, which is what they're just going to have to do for the last 14 minutes or so to hold on to this game.
Another change coming. This will be the final one for Cal United. It's going to be Shinya Kadono, and he's set to replace Trainin. So Brady Trainin, the 17-year-old, going 76 minutes, but it's Kadono's time to shine. His first appearance of the 2021 fall season. He made the bench last week but did not feature. From Irvine, California. Played 7 games last year and made 6 starts in the spring 2021 campaign, and you figure this is them going for it. Codono more of a winger.
Yeah, now's the time. Go to maybe what will amount to like a back three situation and just let everybody else pour forward.
Lopez's cross deflected, and there was a flag waving on the near side, and it means a corner's on the way.
Huh.
Looked like it might have skewed out off the deflection before Gonzalez could claim. So Cal United with a set-piece opportunity just 12 minutes before full time. Still chasing that equalizer. They've been trailing since the 35th. Cross taken low. Ward heads clear only as far as the substitute Codono. All 5 subs have been made by Cal United. Just 1 made for Stumptown today. Have not delved deep into their bench tonight.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, the looming game on Wednesday has got to probably have something to do with that. It might be a situation where the starters are going to have to dig deep tonight.
The cross is cleared only as far as Fuerte. And Robert brings up a good point. That actually is a great plug. Wednesday night, Stumptown, Michigan Stars FC. There's still more to see out here for the Stumps, though, as Vetamincam is bundled over just in the area. Again, no call. It did look like somewhat light contact. But that one perhaps more of an appeal than the previous couple. And it's deflected out of play for a Stumptown throw. Ward looks absolutely gassed.
Yeah, he's been running all around the pitch tonight as well. Reese Williams, too. Those two have been, and along with Colin Stripling, have been major players tonight, and you can just see it. They are worn down to the edges.
The Stumps giving it their all in the final 10 minutes and change as they chase their first win of the 2021 fall season. Entering tonight, no wins, 1 draw, and 2 defeats. The last match they played here at the Stumplex was a heartbreaker. Fell in the 90th minute. A Wojciech header for Chicago House AC powered them to victory.
I think I remember that.
I think you do. And the Stumps will hope to see this one out a little more effectively. Bejarano Navia double-teamed and losing out, but Nemhard will recycle. And Robert, what have you seen from Nemhard tonight?
He's been effective when he's been called upon. It's nice to have obviously the defensive acumen of a center back in that position for sure. And going forward, he's presented some movement, but not clearly the sort of fullback, the roving fullback that Reese Williams is. So it's almost in some ways a back three with a sort of unbalanced wingback type of situation more often than not, but he's played well.
Garcia Sosa will vacate the action for Julio Rubio. And Sosa looks a bit worn down on the near side, so they're giving Rubio extended run, his second appearance of the year. The last one came a 16-minute stint against Chicago House 2 weeks ago. And Rubio, a former LA Force member, played 45 minutes actually against Stumptown in the first ever club game at the Stumplex that we called last May.
Long time ago, it feels like.
That was a 1-0 victory for his Force, but now hoping to power the Stumps to victory, he's going to take up Garcia Sosa's cam spot.
It'll be interesting to see what Underwood does with his substitutions for the rest of the night, as we already talked about with the game. Another game coming up in just a couple of days. You would think that he wants to get, especially someone like Travis Ward, maybe off the pitch at some point if he has any thoughts about him playing a long time on Wednesday night.
McGrath deflects that one out of trouble, and the stings out of that attack for Cal United for the time being. Now McGrath scoops up on the far side. He's been all over the shop in the 45 minutes, well, near 45 minutes of action he's shown tonight. And now Williams in a bit of a tussle with Lopez, and a free kick coming for Cal United. Now De La Fuente. He's played every minute tonight. A regular at that fullback spot and defensive mid spot for Cal United this season. Hogbin looking to switch the play to De La Fuente at wingback. And Robert, you notice the 3-man back line with the 2 wingbacks. as he pointed out moments ago. Now Ward. And a solid ball from Williams, but it looks like Rubio's offside on the near side.
You could hear the coaching staff from Stumptown yelling at Julio Rubio, keep going, keep going.
Ball played just a bit late, it seems. Now Rubio gets involved on ball this time and looks long for Ward. A great recovery by Hogbin, though. And it goes out for a corner. Stumptown will take this one up on the near side. So 7 minutes remaining here in Stumptown's second home match, fourth match of the season. They're back here on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern to take on Michigan Stars FC, a team they just drew 0-0 last Saturday night. Saturday afternoon, I should say.
Yes, indeed. Nothing like playing on a high school football field in the middle of the afternoon, I would imagine. Sounds like it's been pretty warm.
Yeah, on the turf, no less. I'm sure the players enjoy the pitch here at the Stumplex a bit more. And looking to get a win for the home faithful here tonight. Corner taken short. Williams once again involved on it at the near side. And now Rubio. Drilled towards the back post. Ball is loose. Still being knocked around.
Stripling lost it for a minute there in the air. That was an interesting reaction.
And now trying to come the other way are the strikers, switching the play for De La Fuente, but Martinez recovering very well and very advanced at the moment. Looking for Rubio, a bit of a foot race with Barrera, who will skid and poke it out of play. Stumptown throw incoming. And with 5 minutes remaining, Robert, how do you expect Stumptown to try to lock this one down?
Well, I mean, the ideal way would be to score another goal, right? But I think more than likely what we're going to see is they're going to back that line up and try to absorb the pressure that's more than likely coming. But try to control the ball if they can, which it looks like they've been trying to do here over the last couple of minutes.
We will see if Stumptown can grab a full 3 tonight for the first time in fall 2021. Bejarano Navia loses out to Farias. And now De La Fuente getting on his horse the opposite direction. Still no word about Omar Nuno's involvement since the assist in the 3rd minute. Can he change that here? He's standing at the near side. The ball on the opposite side of the pitch at the moment. Farias has had his bright spots but been relatively quiet off the bench here tonight, as is the case for many Cal United players here in the second half. We'll see if they can change things as we head into the final 5, and it'll be really interesting to see how many minutes of stoppage time go up as well. Veteminkem on the near side, taking on Williams and Odenbeck. De La Fuente losing out, and it's poked away over to Travis Ward. Stumptown looking to break the opposite direction. Ball just a bit heavy for Odenbeck.
Got a change coming up here for Stumptown here in the near future.
And you figure this might be parking the bus.
Yep, absolutely. Robert Hines getting ready to check in. Let's see who it will be for.
You'd imagine could be for Odenbeck most likely.
Possibly, or Ward, somebody to back in and really move into a true defensive-minded back four.
And Araneda looking to put a wrench in those plans. Over to De La Fuente, who's seen his involvement grow big time since shifting to wing back. And now Araneda has been kept pretty well out of the final third thus far, as the vertical ball claimed by Gonzalez. Good instincts there by Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's usually something that he does well, is he anticipates the ball going somewhere, and he goes to get it. Not usually something he struggles with at all.
Ramping up the pressure once again are the visitors. A good interception by Bejarano Navia, and now Rubio.
I feel like he needed to hold on to that ball. There's no benefit necessarily in getting forward with Ward with three guys on him.
Cross coming in. Williams clears. And Stripling will settle for the time being. Now poked away once again. Cross deflected. And it's knocked around a lot. The follow-up from Farias drilled wide and a corner coming. An absolute clatter in the penalty area.
Yeah, too much going on there. That was a good defensive effort, but you also just they needed to get the ball out of their own half a little bit. And like I said, I think Julio Rubio needed to hold on to that ball a little bit, try to allow his teammates to come up and help him. Travis Ward was on an island out there, and that almost put Stumptown in trouble.
Corner taken short, probably not enough elevation to it. And now rushing out is Bear Barrera. The goalkeeper on his fourth start, trying to move play along as Cal United continues to chase. Now Bryant. Looking for Farias on the cutback, and Williams runs away with it. Now Travis Ward has support on either side, takes on Araneda now, and drilled over to Odenbeck. Stumptown has the ball in space, and instead will opt to hold up, following Robert's rules on this one.
That's a new one. That's a fourth one. I didn't say that earlier, but it's part of the overall rule.
See out the match when you're winning.
That's right.
That's the.
It's always the rule.
The ground rule.
Exactly.
And now the substitute may be set to enter, as Emponsa is actually down again. He's been cramping up all night. Hines stands on the sideline.
You got to wonder if the plan was to bring him in for somebody else, but that may be changing here, depending on if Emponsa can continue.
And Robert Hines has experience in defense. Yes, he has played only fullback this year, but last year operated quite frequently at center back. Although Stumptown usually played a three-man center back fold. Instead, he will replace Ward. They're going to tell Emponsa to tough it out. And credit to him for continuing to do so.
A couple more minutes, and there goes Hines out to the far side here. It looks like we got 5 players on the back line here for 5 actual defenders on the back line for Stumptown. This is truly a absorb and stop the other team from scoring at this moment.
And Hines had his problems against James Kasak in the season opener at fullback, wingback, I should say. There was a proper 4, so we'll see how he adapts in the 5-back. Instead, they're opting to attack the opposite direction. Araneda crossing for Farias. Good deflection by Bejarano Navia, but recycled by Bryant. Short tap. Vediminchem loses out in the penalty area as the clock hits 90. We will see how many minutes of added time are thrown on the board. It will be 3 as McGrath carries this forward.
Well, they absorbed the pressure, so now it's just about playing a little game of keep away at this point for as long as you possibly can.
Clock is frozen here at 90 at the Stumplex, so it's all in the referee's hands. 3 minutes of additional time, and we enter that first one here through Reese Williams. And for now, it's just about Stumptown possessing, as Robert said. Williams carrying it forward, and might be a bit early to hunt the corner, but you never know. Instead, he surges inside. Now to the touchline. It's poked out, and Stumptown should have a corner.
That works, too.
That'll do the trick.
Yeah, because you can, make your way, meander on over to the corner, make the kick.
You can take a short jog. Oh, yeah. I'm in the wrong spot.
Yeah, yep. Maybe, we got to redo this again. Sorry, Make sure it's somebody who's not already on a yellow card, that sort of thing. Which I think we're safe. I think Travis Ward was the only guy on a yellow, so you're good.
And Ponsa going to take a big swig of water, and you could figure they might try to box this in the corner. I'd be very surprised if they actually try to launch it.
Yeah, there's not a single Stumptown player in the box, if that gives you any indication.
And McGrath will take hold at the corner. Now Stumptown playing that game of keep away once again. It's poked free by Araneda. And now Nuno getting his first touch in what looks like 20 minutes, it seems.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time. They've done a real excellent job of keeping him out of this match tonight.
And now McGrath evading Nuno over to Williams. Diving challenge. Ball is loose but recycled by the Stumptown left back. And once again, moving to the corner. The clearance knocked over to Amponsa. And now Bejarano Navia. Excuse me, that is Nemhart. Odenbeck finds Rubio. Stumptown looks very confident, and this is where those passing drills pay off.
Absolutely. Holding on to the ball.
McGrath tries to put the tricks on Araneda. It is out for a Stumptown throw. The referee peeking at his watch. And the whistle says to keep play going. Now McGrath. Another throw for the home side as they look to grab their first victory of fall 2021. Rod Underwood screaming at the official. Where's the final whistle, he asks. Rubio tries a curler. That would have put the icing on the cake for sure.
That would have been an exclamation point to end the match. And that's, if you're going to take a shot right now, right there, that's the type of shot you want to see. It's close to the goal. Doesn't put yourself in a lot of risk because it goes out beyond the keeper. Still slows things down.
Long ball, perhaps one final opportunity. And that is going to do it. Stumptown AC has grabbed their first victory of fall 2021, 2-1 over Cal United Strikers. And with that win, Stumptown going to 4 points, fueled from the come-from-behind heroics of Luis Garcia Sosa and Colin Stripling after they went down 1-0 inside 3 minutes. Robert, what are your takeaways from that one, and what can Stumptown look to build on as they head to take on Michigan Stars later this week?
Yeah, I mean, you could see the frustration that has been going through this team in the early part of the season. The response from the Stumptown players of just the sheer joy of that victory was really key. Again, they took advantage of the opportunity that they had. They hadn't really had a lot of trouble creating chances up to now, but tonight they took advantage of them, and then they were able to do what they do best, which was pack it in a little bit and force the other team to come to them. And that worked tonight. And hopefully they can continue to do that against a team that they've already seen and might have some new ideas for on Wednesday night.
Stumptown breaks a 270-plus minute goal drought and grabs 2 in come-from-behind fashion. They move up to 6th in the table as of now. There are no other NISA games completed, so that will change as the night progresses. But they're in a good spot heading into Wednesday's home match with Michigan Stars FC. So for Sam Goldfarb and Robert Morrison, Full-Scale Production, thank you as well. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in here on 11 Sports Network. Stick with us next week, a big one against Michigan Stars, and then they will head on the road before returning home on the 11th. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a good night. Stumptown wins 2-1 against Cal United.